Okay, so starting with the recording, I'm just gonna touch on, Rabia, feel free to be active. If you have any question, just pop it in our chat there. And yeah, let's just hope that it's going to be as interactive as possible. All right, but as you can see, all of you, if you are, let me start by saying good morning, good evening, depending on the time that you are accessing this recording. As scheduled, we were to go through assignment 2. We're just going to touch briefly on assignment 2. It is of my opinion, and having lectured this module for many years now, it is of my opinion that assignment 2 is, sorry to say, ridiculously easy for the rest of the class. Again, you will have to see how you are prepping for your exam and how you are dealing with each chapter. But anyone who's been religiously, especially students who've done very well in assignment 1, if you really have been studying and if you've been really making your notes and you know what is happening in the module, you would agree with me. So I was saying that the only question I felt some of you might be worried about was question 1, because question 1, was not, it's covering learning unit 5, which we're going to do after this brief view on your assignment 2. But I would even say that question 1 has nothing, it does not even require you actually right now to go through learning unit 5 to answer question 1. Let me just repeat that. It does not require you to go through learning unit 5 to answer question 1. Like I said, for assignment 1, to my biggest surprise, I saw that many students were struggling, not really with the actual theory as such, but more with things to do with mathematics for, high school mathematics. So there is things like fractions. There are things like ratios. I saw that, some of you were struggling with that. And that's the most concerning part for me, is that some of the questions you can literally figure out the answer. You can really figure out the answer. Let's say, for example, you were to write the exam right now. Question 1, especially question 1.1, you can figure out the answer because it has nothing to do with the actual theory. This is just basically, your algebra. I mean, this is high school mathematics that I see some of you are struggling with, and this is quite concerning. Errors that are a scandal, like calculus errors, some of you struggling with percentages, that's problematic. So that's, like I said, if you went through the recording, if you are in that case, I understand why you would hate a financial module, but I would also tell you that you need to be a responsible student to go back and do some of your high school work. Google, you have YouTube. You basically can teach yourself something that you perhaps were struggling with at your high school. So I have to be very clear with that. So I'm repeating again, even when you're going to be in the exam, don't panic. Sometimes there are questions that just require you to figure it out. You see, one of those questions is this one, question 1. So there's 3 departments. We will talk about that because it's about how you allocate the overhead cost. That's all we're going to do today. How you allocate your overhead cost to your main production department. You are an entrepreneur, whatever you're going to be doing, they're going to need to be something that produce value, whether you are rendering a service or whether you are producing or manufacturing a product. They are some of those core things that go into the actual production, right? For example, Ultimate Manufacturers has 3 production departments. So you have the production, it's divided into 3 departments: assembling, finishing, and packaging, right? And 1 service department, meaning that service department is like helping this production department. So there is a predetermined overhead absorption rate that has been established for each of the production department on the basis of machine hours at normal capacity. By the way, this is standard. When you're going to go through your reading for Learning Unit 5, you will know that you will know machine hours, that it is one of those overhead absorption rates. But all this is just blah, blah, blah. It's not actually speaking to what the question is going to be. They're just giving you a background. So don't panic already and like, oh my God, what is overhead absorption rate? Oh my God, I don't know. No, the overhead of each production department comprise directly allocated expenses. So we are taking expenses, overhead, like we're saying, we are saying that they're not directly linked to the actual production, but we need to allocate those costs to the production. And that's the whole exercise. We just want to allocate. There are multiple costs that you have. There's direct costs, there's indirect. So if you've been reading, that overhead is all those indirect costs, because the 2 direct costs that you have are the direct material and the direct labor. Everything that is indirect is basically on top of that. That's why we say overhead. It's quite clear. This is very easy. So a good student understands very well when he's reading a question. So, but they give you a ratio here. They give you 8, 12, 5. This is a ratio again. Many of you will have a problem with this ratio, but I'm telling you, this is not going to be acceptable. If you have issues with high school level mathematics calculations, please do yourself a service to go Google, to do whatever you need to do, because you can't be a tertiary student, you know, at this level and struggling with things like that. But I say that the answer is already there. So whatever you're going to be here, it works according to that ratio they've provided to you. So just saying that whatever is ahead, this is how you're going to split it between these 3 production departments. I don't know if I need even to say anything further. The purpose of this is not to provide you the answer, but I'm repeating this because of assignment 1 and because some of you have been struggling with high school level calculations and mathematics. So that's it. They're just giving you, if you look at question 1 is 27 marks. For goodness sake, it's quite a lot, but just for you to find A, B, C, E, F, D, and all the missing. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. Yeah, the only thing that you need to figure out is for finishing. But go back to assignment 2. I did upload assignment 2 and the solution to assignment 2. You are a tertiary level student. Figure this H out, because slightly different here, but this is what it is. So they have already provided you basically the answer. The answer is there. They give you a ratio on how they are allocating the overhead to the main production department. All right. So figure that, show all your workings. That's what it also if you're hiding your workings, good for you, but you're gonna fail. I mean, you're not gonna get the marks because your workings are very good and they help many of you because you got the answer completely wrong, but some of your workings, showed that you were going in a certain direction, and I was able to allocate marks. So if you're not showing your workings, that's a problem, right? Okay, so 2 decimal places, all calculations must be rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, now question 1.2, that will need you to just browse through Learning Unit 5. That's all. Because they're just asking you, there is a direct method that is being used to allocate. Again, you are allocating overhead, indirect cost, you are allocating them to the actual production, right? So now they're saying there is a direct method, but what is the other method? I mean, it's just ridiculous as a question because, I mean, it is in your textbook. What is the other method? Okay, you use that method. You need to discuss 2 other methods that can be used to reassign service department overhead. Okay, 2 other. So you will have one method and another method, just discuss them. So you name them, you explain them. If you're naming them, don't just name them, explain them. And it is important to use your own word. It is recommended that you also make use of academic reference beside your textbook. So you always start by your textbook. Please, all of you, I never said for assignment 1 that you need to find sources outside your textbook only. That's not what it said. Start with your textbook because the textbook gives you the theory. Now, those concepts that are in your textbook, try also to do a bit of research to find other sources so that they can provide you exactly that way of saying it in your own words. Because if you read from 2 different sources, you will get 2 different angles, right? Then you can shed light, but the concepts are in your textbook. What surprised me is that some of you went and took a concept from outside the textbook that was not covered in your textbook. It's fine, but just need to make sure that you are on the same page as your textbook. Because remember, whatever examination we're doing or assessment we're doing, it's just we are assessing your understanding of the textbook. So remember, you can't pass without your textbook. Your textbook is your go-to. It is your Bible for this module. All right. Okay, so it is important to use your own words. And yeah, so question 1, I hope I've clarified. It's just a matter of basic calculations. It's just asking you to figure out, and to tell you the truth, you don't need even to touch on the theory actually of Learning Unit 5. But let's move to question 2. As you can see, question 2, question 2, sorry about that. Question 2, I have added some important things that you need to remember for your question 2. I'm asking you questions for question 2. All right. So I'm asking you, for example, question like 1 ton. So 1 ton. I don't know even perceive 1 ton of something. How many kgs is it? Right. So again, you have examples in your textbook, quite clear, but some of you, I know where you're going to go wrong, is that you are reading, you need to read carefully each line, because each line provides you information, all right? That's why I've put this to help you. Again, there's one example in your textbook, practice that example, and then do question 2. For example, some of you might go wrong. You don't know how to figure out what is 1 ton in kg. I'm not going to answer that. Just be responsible. Okay? How many machines? how many machines are being used. So even if you are doing the calculations, you need to remember, are you doing the calculations for one machine, for two machines? How many machines do they provide you, right? Okay, and if 100% capacity means 60 hours and produces 40 ton, and I'm asking you, they produce 40 ton for how long? What is the duration? So they say if a machine is working at 100% capacity, it's producing 100% capacity, meaning 60 hours, it's going to produce 40 ton, right? It's there. But per what? Per week? What does it tell you? I mean, the question is here. Look again here. It says that calculate the total number of tons. It is there written, Rabia. So 2.1, calculate the total number of tons of cement mixture manufactured per month. All right. So you say Q 2.2 above, complete the above table by using monthly cost figures. Withdraw the table. You do not need to copy the transaction, and only, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter year, actually. Year you can put in kg, you can put in tons. It doesn't matter as long as you know how to convert the tons to kg. So whatever you're going to do here, but since they are asking you and rent, Rabia, don't you want to come on? Just
Hi, it's Anushka. Sorry.
oh,
I was
sorry, Anushka, I didn't see that. Sorry.
no problem, sir. Because in question 2.2 they say complete the above table by using monthly cost figures, but then when you look at 1 and 2, they don't mention the cost. They say the quantity of product.
No, Rabia. Remember, these are costs that you are calculating. These are not tons.
Okay,
Whatever you
so
are
even
putting,
though they say quantity, purchase the required quantity of product M for the month. So that it
all
doesn't
right,
have to
okay.
be.
No, but this is dangerous. Remember, this table that is offered to you, it is for the production cost. Cost
Okay,
is a cost, is in rent.
okay,
So the quantity
perfect.
will tell you the cost, because ultimately you're going to multiply the quantity to find the cost. So
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you
so
so much. I
remember,
just wanted to make sure.
yeah, cool. So production cost, period cost. What we want to know, the first thing is if you understand what is a period cost and what is a product cost. You have a product cost, you have a period cost. The definition is in your textbook. Look at 1 to 10. 1, is 1 a product cost or is it a period cost? That's what we want to see. We want you, first of all, to place the things at the right place. Product cost, period cost. And obviously, you are calculating the cost. So you're looking at the quantity, the price per quantity, per kg, multiplied by the cost per kg, you get the cost. So, like I said again, I'm repeating again, this is so easy. It doesn't, I mean, a CS student has already done this, has already completed this assignment. I mean, it's not even bothering. So remember Q1, Q2, answer, show you're working. But even if you're showing you're working, here, when you are doing a new table, you don't need to repeat this transaction. You don't need to say purchase the required. No, you just can say transaction number 1. You are going to put you are going to categorize it. Is it a product cost? Is it a period cost? if it's a product cost, is it a direct material cost? Is it a direct labor? Is it a manufacturing overhead? That's all we want to see. Okay? Put it in the right place, put the correct amount, and that's it. Question number 3. Let me move on to question number 3. Theory question. Easy, it is in your textbook, but do also some research. Start with your textbook and then go from your textbook to another source, right? Like I said, discuss overtrading, including 3 consequences of overtrading to a business. That's all. They're just asking you overtrading, straightforward. What is overtrading? Discuss it. All right. If you give me the overtrading and the definition, and then 3 consequences, everything 2 point, right? So meaning the definition 2 point, name 3 consequences and discuss those 3 consequences. There you go. You have your 8 marks. Don't overwrite. You don't need to write a whole book for question 3.1, please. I've been clear on that. Question 3.2, discuss the technical insolvency. Easy, in your textbook, and explain why this is different from absolute insolvency. If you say somebody is totally insolvent and somebody was technically insolvent, it is in your textbook. Remember to use your own word and put any reference, right? Okay, question 4, the last question. Just unbelievable. I don't know even why they put this question here, but fine. They put the question there. What they look, go again to the question. What is the question? They are talking about working capital. What is working capital? Textbook. Working capital. It is something minusing something. They're talking about the working capital. So they're asking you to calculate the level of working capital as of the financial year for 2022 and 2023. That's it. So you need to know what. Remember again, if you did accounting, if you didn't do accounting, it's fine. You just need to know what is part of current asset, what is part of current liability. Figure that out. Easy. That's all. Calculate the total current liability. You have the total current asset here, total current liability. Figure out what forms part of current asset and current liability. Textbook. And that's it. Okay, the last point, it's question 4.3. I'm finishing with this. Calculate the net working capital as at the due date for statement of financial position, as well as the current ratio for each year. That's also very important. Current ratio. What is current ratio? What is the formula of current ratio? Something minus something. All right? Okay? Comment on the company's liquidity position and the related risk it poses to potential financiers. All right. That's it. Easy, easy, easy. I repeat again. This assignment, I expect all of you to get one of the highest distinction. That's all. You get 90%. I won't accept less than that. It is one of the easiest assignment. It's just totally ridiculous as an assignment. And this is my opinion. All right. And I stand by it. Okay.